If starting from scratch, hunt for deals or repurpose an old battery with decent remaining life. Fourth, ducting and insulation. A short piece of flexible duct plus some basic insulation transforms the heater into a mini forced air system. The heater stays outside and warm air is funneled directly into the tent. No long runs are necessary. Short and direct is the most efficient. Finally, wiring, fuse, and small extras. A fuse holder, appropriately gauged wire, a switch, and a few connectors complete the setup. With everything connected, the air circulates gently, maintaining a cozy environment without ever exposing you to risk. Then come the usual extras. Some tape, a few zip ties, and maybe a couple of screws or brackets to secure the fan and heater inside a small metal enclosure. If you have to purchase everything brand new, your total might creep above $25. But if you can repurpose a fan or battery, $25 is plenty for the additional components you'll need. Before diving into construction, one point deserves emphasis: safety. Heat, electricity, and fabric do not mix lightly. The rules here are non-negotiable. The heater element must remain outside the tent at all times. Only the warmed air enters. No glowing parts or anything that could melt the tent. The heater lives inside a metal or heat-resistant container, never loose on the ground. Wiring is fused at the battery and kept tidy and straightforward. Every setup must be tested outdoors, away from your sleeping area before it ever touches the tent. This device is meant to improve comfort, not start a fire. If anything feels uncertain during assembly, pause and correct it. Now let's construct the core of this system. The heater box. This is where cold air enters and warm air exits through the duct. Step 1. Choose or create a box. Grab a small metal container capable of handling heat. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Old tins or leftover metal electrical boxes work perfectly. You'll need 2 openings. One for the fan to push air in, and another for the duct to carry warm air out. I prefer placing the fan on one end and the duct on the opposite side, so air flows across the heater element. After cutting the openings, smooth the edges with a file or sandpaper to prevent cuts or duct damage. Step 2. Install the heater element. Position the element inside the box so air can circulate around it freely. Don't wedge it against a wall. Allow airflow on all sides. Secure it with small metal brackets or screws. If isolation from the metal is required, use ceramic or other heat-proof spacers, never plastic. Make sure the heater wires avoid the hottest surfaces, leaving some slack and keeping them away from sharp edges. Step 3. Attach the blower fan to the intake hole. Mount the fan so it pushes air into the box. If the fan frame has airflow arrows, ensure the arrow points toward the box. You can use screws, bolts, or even metal zip ties. What matters is that the fan cannot loosen once it starts. Power the fan briefly and verify by hand that air is moving forcefully into the box and exiting through the other opening. Step 4. Connect the duct. Slide a flexible duct onto the outlet hole and secure it with a hose clamp or metal tape to prevent it from detaching during the night. If the duct is slightly loose, add a short metal collar or adapter to achieve a snug fit. Wrap the first segment of duct with insulation if available to retain more heat as it travels. At this point, you have a compact metal box with a fan at one end, a heater element inside, and a duct at the other, your personal mini furnace feeding warm air into the tent. Next, let's wire it safely for easy nighttime operation. Step 1. Design a simple circuit. Keep it basic. The battery's positive terminal goes to a fuse. From there, the positive connects to a switch. After the switch, the positive line splits to feed both the fan and heater element. All negatives return directly to the battery's negative terminal. This way, a single switch controls the entire system. Optionally, you can add a second switch exclusively for the heater, allowing the fan to run alone, though that is not required. Next, consider fuse placement and wire selection. Install the fuse as close to the battery as possible so that if any short occurs downstream, the fuse blows before wires heat up dangerously. Use wires thick enough to stay cool while operating. This is an automotive level complexity, but avoid using extremely thin speaker wire for a heater circuit. Crimp or solder all connections securely, if possible. Cover joints with heat, shrink tubing rather than wrapping them only with electrical tape. Now for a quick test. Before bringing anything near the tent, power the system on a safe surface. Connect the battery and flip the switch. You should hear the fan start and feel air rushing from the duct. Within a couple of minutes, the air should start to feel noticeably warmer. Let it run for 20 to 30 minutes while you monitor it closely. Is the box becoming too hot to touch? Are any components emitting a melting plastic smell? Is the duct near the heater softening or changing color? If any of these occur, turn it off and adjust. Move the heater deeper inside the box, add metal shielding, or reduce the power level if your element has multiple settings. With safety confirmed, it's time to bring the setup into a tent. Position the heater box on a stable, non-flammable base outside the tent. Flat rocks, metal trays, or small tiles work well. Keep it close enough so the duct reaches the inside without stretching, sagging, or bending awkwardly. I usually place it near a ground level corner. Next, feed the duct into the tent. Many tents have small zipper openings for power cords, perfect for this purpose. If yours lacks one, simply crack a corner zipper enough for the duct. Once inserted, block any gaps with a scarf, sock, or foam scrap to prevent cold air from sneaking in. Aim the warm air where it will benefit most. I generally direct it along the floor toward where my torso and feet will rest. There's no need to blast it at your face. That gets uncomfortable fast. If the airflow feels harsh, attach a simple diffuser. A cut-off plastic bottle end works surprisingly well. Then tidy the cables. Route the battery wire so no one trips over it in the dark. Keeping the battery just outside the tent door allows easy access without dragging it inside. Make sure the wires are clear of tent lines and walking paths. A few clips or pieces of tape take only a minute, but make a huge difference. Here's how I use it during a typical evening. When I first settle into the tent, I set the heater to a slightly higher power for roughly 30 minutes. At that point, I'm usually awake, reading or scrolling on my phone. The goal is to pre-warm the tent and sleeping bag, letting heat soak into the pad, the bag, and even the tent walls slightly. Essentially, you're charging the heat battery of the entire setup. Once ready to sleep, I lower the heater to the minimum comfortable setting. From then on, the tent isn't being heated aggressively. The system simply stops the cold from creeping in. Throughout the night, the fan runs quietly, and the duct maintains a gentle flow of slightly warm air across the floor. It's subtle, but when you wake at 3 a.m. and extend a hand, the difference is striking compared to having no heat at all. Using this method, you get consistent warmth without ever risking fire or molten fabric. A small, inexpensive setup can transform frigid nights into something comfortably bearable. It's compact, low cost, and, most importantly, safe. For anyone spending nights outdoors in cold weather, this is a simple hack that really works. Take the idea, adapt it to your own gear, and enjoy nights in your tent without shivering. Safety first, comfort second, and cost third. You'll be surprised how effective such a minimal system can be. This is how to make your tent feel warm and cozy without resorting to complex or hazardous heating methods. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.